A friend of mine works at a car rental agency at Heathrow Airport in London. An American family rented a car and the father came back in fuming mad after 10 minutes. "You gave me a defective car!" he shouted. My friend asked what the problem was. "The steering wheel is on the wrong side. How am I supposed to drive this thing? It's a manufacturing error. I demand a proper American-style car right now." He was completely convinced that all cars worldwide were supposed to be left-hand drive, and he'd been given a factory reject. I was working the front desk at a hotel in Quebec City, Canada. An American couple approached me, looking very frustrated. The husband said, "Excuse me, we love the city but it's very difficult to get around." I started to offer a map, but he cut me off. "No, it's not that. It's all the French. Why doesn't everyone just speak English? We're in North America, after all." It feels very exclusionary. You'd think for the sake of tourism, they'd make an effort to be more American-friendly. He genuinely believed a French-speaking province should change its language for his vacation. I was on a tour of ancient temples in Kyoto, Japan. The guide repeatedly asked for quiet reverence inside the sacred buildings. One American woman, however, was on her phone talking loudly. "Brenda, you won't believe this place. It's super old, like really, really old. The Wi-Fi is surprisingly good, though." When the guide politely asked her to finish her call outside, she rolled her eyes and said to her friend, "What's the big deal? It's not like the statues can hear me. They're made of wood." Overheard at a cafe in Copenhagen, Denmark. An American was talking to the barista. "So I've been here for 3 days, and I haven't seen any castles or princes or anything. I thought you guys were like a fairy tale kingdom." The Danish barista calmly replied, "We are a modern constitutional monarchy." The American looked disappointed. "Oh, so no talking animals or anything? That's kind of a rip-off. Your tourism ads are very misleading. I was managing a surf school in Costa Rica. A family from the US signed up for a lesson. Before we even got to the water, the father pulled me aside with a very serious look. 'I need to know what your policy is on shark attacks,' he said. I explained they are incredibly rare. He pressed on. 'No, I mean, what's your refund policy if one of my kids gets bitten? Do we get the money for the lesson back, or is it just a partial credit for a future lesson?' He was more concerned with the financials of a hypothetical shark attack than the safety itself. I was in a cafe in Rome at 4 p.m. and witnessed an American man arguing with the barista. 'I want a cappuccino, a large one.' The barista politely replied, 'Senor, we do not make cappuccino after 11 Circe di, The American got red in the face. 'What do you mean you don't? You have the machine.' 'I have the money? Make me the coffee. The customer is always right.' The barista just shrugged and said, 'Not in Italy.' The man stormed out, yelling about how he was going to write a terrible Yelp review for this communist coffee shop. I was working as a guide at Stonehenge. An American family on my tour seemed unimpressed. After my talk about the Neolithic builders and astronomical alignments, the father raised his hand. 'This is all very interesting,' he began, 'but when do you turn it on?' I asked him what he meant. 'The light show,' he said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. 'We saw pictures online of all the cool lights and lasers. We came all this way for the show. Is it a separate ticket?' I had to gently explain that the photos he saw were likely of special, rare solstice events or artistic installations, not a nightly Vegas-style performance. He was genuinely disappointed, muttering to his wife about false advertising. A friend of mine leads hiking tours in the Scottish Highlands. He had an American client who halfway up a mountain stopped and asked, 'Okay, where's the escalator? I assumed there would be an easier way to the top for the photo op.' My friend, stunned, explained they had to walk the whole way. The man complained for the next hour, saying, 'This is a huge safety hazard. What if someone gets tired in the States? A place this popular would have a chairlift. It's just basic infrastructure.' I was at a market in Marrakesh, Morocco. A young American couple was trying to buy a lantern. The vendor told them the price was 300 dirhams. The American man scoffed and said, 'Dude, I'm not an idiot. I know the real value of things here. He then confidently offered, I'll give you $5. The vendor tried to explain that 300 dirhams is about $30. The American wouldn't budge. $5 final offer. That's more than enough for a piece of tin in a third world country. He seemed to think that insulting the man's country and craftsmanship was a brilliant negotiation. Tactir. They left empty-handed, complaining about being ripped off. While backpacking through Vietnam, I met an American who was complaining about the currency. The dong. I just can't take it seriously, he said. The money looks fake, like Monopoly money, and the numbers are way too big. 20,000 for a sandwich. It's ridiculous. He then pulled out a US $1 bill. They should just use this. It's simple. It's green, and everyone knows what it's worth. It would make things so much easier for everyone, especially them. I was on safari in Tanzania. In our group was an American who seemed to believe he was in a petting zoo. The guide repeatedly warned everyone to stay in the vehicle and make no sudden movements. When we came across a herd of elephants, this man unzipped his window flap and started making loud kissing noises. Here, boy. Come here, big fella, he cooed, holding out a granola bar. The largest bull elephant turned, flared its ears, and let out a deafening trumpet blast. The man fell back into his seat, pale as a ghost. The guide just turned and said dryly, He does not want your granola bar, sir. Please close the window. My sister was a flight attendant on a flight to Cairo. An American passenger asked her if they would be flying over the pyramids so he could get a good picture. My sister explained that flight paths are very strict and don't go directly over major landmarks. For security reasons, the man replied, Could you ask the pilot to make a small detour? I paid a lot for this ticket and a good Instagram. Photo of the pyramids from the air would make it all worth it. I'd even tip him. My cousin works at the Louvre in Paris in the wing with the Mona Lisa. He says the most common complaint he hears from Americans is how small the painting is. One man was particularly incensed. He told my cousin, This is a total scam. I paid $17 to see this. It's tiny. My TV at home is bigger than this. You guys should really make a bigger high-definition replica and put that out instead. Nobody would know the difference, and it would be way more impressive for the tourists. It's all about the experience, you know? He genuinely thought the world's most famous painting should be replaced with a large screen for better viewing. I was working as a guide at Stonehenge. An American tourist in my group stared at the ancient stones for a few minutes before asking me, Okay, I get it. It's impressive. But what movie was this built for? Was it Transformers or something else? It seems like a lot of effort for a movie set. But Hollywood is crazy. Right. I had to gently explain that the monument was about 5,000 years old. He looked disappointed and replied, Oh, so no celebrities are showing up then. Bummer. My cousin was on a safari in South Africa. The guide stopped the jeep as a magnificent lion was resting about 50 yards away. An American woman in the group loudly whispered, Is that it? Is he just going to sleep? After a few minutes of silence, she turned to the guide and asked, Can you get him to roar for us? Maybe throw something over there to wake him up. We paid a lot of money for the lion experience, and so far it's just a big cat nap. The guide had to explain that they were in the wild, not at a trained animal show. While hiking in New Zealand, I met an American couple who were looking at a map and seemed very lost. I asked if I could help. The woman said, Yes, thank you. We're trying to find the Shire. We know the movie sets are somewhere else, but we're looking for the actual village where the hobbits live. We want to see their little houses and maybe meet one. They genuinely believed hobbits were a real indigenous population of New Zealand and were frustrated that locals weren't more helpful in directing them to their community. I was at a restaurant in New Delhi, India, known for its authentic cuisine. An American at the next table ordered a chicken vindaloo. When it arrived, he took one bite and his face turned beet red. He frantically waved down the waiter and said, This is inedible. It's way too spicy. Take it back and tell the chef to make it again, but this time without any of the spices, just the chicken and the sauce. Maybe with some ketchup. And the waiter was so stunned he didn't know how to respond. On a boat tour through the canals of Amsterdam, an American man asked the guide, "This is all very quaint, but wouldn't it be more efficient to just drain all these canals and pave them over? You could build some amazing 6-lane highways here and solve your traffic problems. It seems like you're wasting a lot of valuable real estate on these ditches." He saw the city's iconic historic waterways as nothing more than an engineering problem that needed a modern American solution. I was in a small family-run trattoria in a village in Tuscany. An American family sat nearby, growing visibly agitated. The father finally flagged down the owner, a sweet old nonna who spoke no English. He pointed at his watch and said loudly, "Pizza? Pepperoni? Now?" She smiled and tried to explain in Italian that the wood oven was still heating up. He didn't understand, and got angrier. "We have been waiting 20 minutes. He then pulled a wad of US dollars from his pocket and waved a $50 bill at her. "Money for fast service." The entire restaurant full of locals went silent. The woman just looked at the strange green paper, shook her head sadly, and walked back to her kitchen. I was staying at a hostel in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. An American guy was complaining to the staff. "I've been trying to speak Spanish to everyone here, and they're all so rude. They either don't understand me, or they reply in some weird broken version of it. Why don't you guys learn to speak proper Spanish? It's the main language in South America. You should know it." The receptionist had to explain for the 5th time that day that people in Brazil speak Portuguese at the Acropolis in Athens. A tour guide was explaining that the Parthenon was a temple dedicated to the goddess Athena. An American teenager interrupted, "Wait, Athena? Who's that? I thought this was where Hercules lived. You know, from the Disney movie. He's the main guy. Well, why would they build this huge thing for a side character? Where's the big statue of Zeus?" His entire understanding of Greek mythology and history was based on a 90s animated film. A friend of mine was working in a crèmerie, a traditional cheese shop in Paris. An American tourist came in, looked around at the hundreds of artisanal cheeses, and then approached the counter. "This is all very nice for decoration," she said. "But where do you keep the real cheese, you know? The orange slices for sandwiches, Kraft singles. I need something I can actually melt on a burger." She was completely serious and seemed to think the world-renowned French cheeses were just for show. On a ferry cruising through a majestic Norwegian fjord, surrounded by towering cliffs and waterfalls, an American tourist went up to the captain's deck. He complained, "Can we speed this thing up? We've been looking at the same rocks and water for an hour. It's getting boring. We have other things to see today, and this slow pace is killing our schedule." He was treating one of the most beautiful natural wonders on Earth like a tedious stretch of interstate highway. A friend of mine works as a guard at Buckingham Palace. He told me about an American tourist who stood by his sentry box for 10 minutes, trying to get his attention. Finally, she asked, "If I give you $20, can you get the Queen to come out for a quick selfie? I don't need her to talk or anything. Just a quick picture for my Facebook." My friend, of course, remained perfectly still and silent. The woman waited another minute, then sighed and said, "Fine, $50. But that's my final offer. It's a good deal for her. It'll boost her popularity in the States." Then she eventually gave up and complained to her husband about the unprofessional staff. An American couple in Madrid was complaining loudly to their hotel concierge. "Everything in this city closes in the afternoon. We tried to go shopping at 300 p.m., and all the best stores were shut. It's the middle of the day. How is anyone supposed to get anything done? It's so lazy and inefficient. Don't people here want to make money?" The cultural concept of a siesta was so alien to them. They could only interpret it as poor work ethic. At the entrance to the Grand Palace in Bangkok, a young American woman was stopped because her shorts were too short and she had a tank top on. She began to argue with the guard. "What do you mean I can't go in? This is a tourist attraction. I paid for a ticket. You can't just enforce a random dress code on me. This is a violation of my rights. It's hot out here. What am I supposed to wear? A snowsuit. She was screaming about her rights in front of a sacred, royal and religious site. I saw this happen outside Buckingham Palace after the changing of the guard ceremony. An American dad went right up to one of the stoic, unmoving guards. He got way too close and said, "Great performance, buddy. Really top-notch. My son here is a big fan. Could you do a little wave for his TikTok? Or maybe that floss dance thing I'll give you, $20. The guard remained perfectly still, but I think I saw his eye twitch. The man just shook his head and walked away, muttering about unfriendly staff.